It is now my great privilege to introduce our Convocation speaker, Professor Kathleen Gallagher. Kathleen Gallagher is a distinguished professor in OISE's Department of Curriculum, Teaching and Learning and is cross-appointed to the Center for Drama, Theater, and Performance Studies. Her research focuses on questions of youth, civic engagement, and artistic practice, and pedagogical and methodological possibilities of theater. Among other accolades, she has been recognized with the David E. Hunt Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching and is elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada. Please join me in welcoming Professor Kathleen Gallagher to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I am really delighted and honored to have been invited to mark this extraordinarily important moment with you and with your loved ones gathered here and those here in spirit to celebrate this accomplishment with you today. Graduates in science, medicine, arts, management, applied computing, accounting, finance, biomedical communications, and more. A room full of graduate degrees and expertise in disciplines and fields of study and their subfields. Remember that when I challenge you with two small thoughts today. I know the hard work it has taken to get to where you are today, and that you are on the cusp of a new beginning for yourself, whether this is your first chosen field or whether you have come back to school later in life to follow a new path. But what I'm going to invite you to think about today are first, the ways in which you can take your highly specialized knowledge and join forces with those who have different expertise and may even see the world in very different ways. And second, how you can offer support to those following you, to those who may not yet see themselves or their potential very clearly. And why am I inviting you to do this? Because as we move into increasingly precarious times with growing inequality, political polarization across the globe, and an unprecedented climate emergency, it matters less what we are going to be or do, and more how we are going to do it and who we are going to be. My very humble offering, then, is to suggest that extraordinary solutions lie ahead if we learn to work across disciplines and across sectors, and if we include those people in our midst who need us to recognize their talents. When I was 11 years old, a new baseball league was beginning in my neighborhood, East Toronto Baseball. Our community newspaper invited all interested children between the ages of 9 and 17 to come to the community center to register. My father asked me if I was interested, and I certainly was. I was a sporty girl. When we arrived at the registration, 2 league conveners behind the desk politely explained to my father that this was a hardball league for boys. My father drew their attention to the ad in the paper that said, kids between the ages of 9 and 17. They explained, well, yes, that's true, but it's hardball, so people would know that it was for boys. I remember standing there feeling slightly embarrassed that my father didn't seem to be getting it. Instead, he turned to me and asked, "Do you want to play hardball?" Instinctively, I nodded yes, but was still confused about why my father was not understanding what the men were telling us, that a hardball league was not for girls. They even offered that there was likely a nice softball league I could join if I was interested. No, my father said, she wants to play hardball. The conveners begrudgingly allowed me to sign up, adding that they were sure I wouldn't like it, but I could try if I wanted. I did play, and I loved it. Fast forward, and I'm now a nationally certified baseball coach who has coached my son's select hardball team. My father was teaching me about my self-worth even before I knew that was something I should be concerned about. He was telling me that the world as given is not necessarily the world I need to accept. Who will you teach? And how will you teach them? In addition to your new jobs and important work in the world, as I see it, you have another job. We all have this job. To be that voice for others, to recognize the gifts of others, to extend a hand to them, and to not accept injustices in the world as given. Who are the teachers now? I think it's fair to say that the youth climate activists and Indigenous caretakers of this land, the defenders of our shared planet, the whistleblowers who are using science to change the course of the world, they are the teachers now, all over the world. There is symbolism in this movement, and where there is symbolism, there is promise. I'm not amazed by those youthful leaders. I am not surprised by their clarity, because I have had the good fortune to spend my life listening to the voices of young people. I know we've all heard this. They are the future. You are the future. It's a favored adult script. But what we've learned by the young climate strikers' actions is that the time for youth leadership is now, and you must move forward in ways that older generations have not managed to accomplish. You must think cross-disciplinarily, you must cross borders of all kinds and bounded ways of thinking, and you must think intergenerationally. We are poised for the greatest cross-disciplinary, cross-sectoral project of our lifetime, saving the earth and all its inhabitants. As I said, I'm not surprised that this movement is being led by young people. I'm not impressed by them because they are young. I am impressed by them because they are right. And they are caring about how we solve problems and how we work across differences to do so. Here is a chance for scientists, educators, health practitioners, entrepreneurs, business leaders, artists, young and old, to act together, to bring to bear our different ways of seeing and being from this great education we've had, and to join forces. Before I returned to academia, I spent 10 years teaching in a high school drama classroom. It wasn't my subject knowledge alone that helped me become a good teacher. It was how my education made me see and be with others, to turn towards others. What does such a directional orientation mean in these polarized times? It means courage, hope, fearlessness, and probably disappointment and worry too. It will not be an easy road, but paying attention to how you travel it will make it meaningful and consequential. Congratulations to the young people convocating here today and to those who are getting degrees after coming back to school or changing careers. Bravo to all of you for the choices you have made, perhaps against some odds. Maybe you have been wonderfully encouraged by people. Think about them now. Think about how they showed you how valuable and worthy you were. And commit to the idea that you can be that for someone else. You must be that for someone else. That is the real legacy of education. To know what it means to have been encouraged, and to know what it means to give that gift forward. It is an antidote to the often careless disregard and harmful competitiveness of our times. Baseball, I think, has taught me about the right kind of competitiveness, a sport that is both a team sport and one that also asks a player to do something entirely alone, to bat, while your teammates look on supportively. Pat Gillick, the general manager that led the Toronto Blue Jays to World Series championships in 1992 and 1993, once said, "Baseball is about talent, hard work, and strategy. But at the deepest level, it's about love, integrity, and respect." So it's not what we do, but how we do it. When you head out to make your matchless contributions, think about what kind of actor you want to be in this world and how you might act in concert with others. Congratulations and thank you.